All right, buckle up, because today I'm behind the wheel of the new Vauxhall Frontera, particularly the hybrid. But actually today I'm going to talk about both the hybrid and the fully electric Frontera, because the latter version is the one that's making the biggest noise in the UK car market right now. And if you're after affordability, this little Vauxhall is sitting bang in the sweet spot. This is a car that's been designed to make electrification more accessible. So it sits between the smaller Vauxhall Mocha and the larger Grandland in Vauxhall's lineup, but it's priced to tempt anyone who's been hovering on the fence between petrol and electric. Now, the Frontera comes with some pretty punchy headlines. Both petrol and electric versions are available, and there's an electric all-in ownership offer. That bundles together £500 of charging credit and 8 years of roadside assistance, and it also has a starting price of just £22,500 when you consider the £1,500 government EV grant. And here's the bit that's really got people talking. This is actually the first car in the UK to be sold with a full price parity between the hybrid and electric versions. In plain English, for once, you're not actually being punished for going for the green option, which is really nice to hear. So on paper, it sounds like a bit of a win-win. It's a family SUV that offers proper space. You can even get a 7-seater version of the hybrid. There's also plenty of tech, and you have Vauxhall's new rugged meets modern design language for a price that's not going to terrify your bank manager. This car is aiming to be the most accessible family car in the range, whether you're plugging in or filling up. And actually, that's quite a bold statement in today's market. Hi guys, my name's Tish and welcome back to Auto Social UK. In today's video, we're going to be putting the Vauxhall Frontera through its paces. I'm going to be focusing on the hybrid model, but I am also going to be talking about the electric car as well. So if you want to find out everything there is to know about the Frontera range and telling you my thoughts and feelings on this affordable new car. So if that sounds good, then please keep watching. And if you like new car reviews and car content, then you're in the right place. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Now, just before we dive into the rest of the review, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, ALA Insurance, because currently they've actually been price cutting a lot of their gap policies on many brands. And regardless of brand, I bet it's cheaper than you may think. Right now, the average cost of a gap policy with ALA is just £266, and that covers you for 3 years. Proper peace of mind if your car gets written off or stolen. But for some brands like Kia, Nissan, Skoda and Toyota, it's even better. Those policies start from around £180 for a 3-year back-to-invoice plan. That means if the worst happens and your insurer only pays out the current market value for your car, gap insurance will bridge the gap back to what you originally paid, so you're not left out of pocket. So to get a gap quotation on your next car, then make sure you head over to ALA Insurance. I'll pop all the details in the description box down below, and you can also use my current discount code to get 10% off of your policy. Thank you so much to ALA Insurance for sponsoring today's video. Why don't we check out the interior? Now, during your new car search, if you found yourself saying, gosh, new cars are just way too complicated nowadays, then maybe the Frontera could be your antidote to that, because this car is refreshingly simple, if a little bit cheap in places. Firstly, you have a proper key on this entry-level trim, a real key that you have to actually put in an ignition. I can't remember the last time that I reviewed a car where I had to do that. You also have quite a simple screen layout as well. There's no fancy Google systems in here. You just have these 2 simple screens which are very easy to read. You have a digital driver's display, and then you have your central touchscreen. Your central touchscreen doesn't have anything fancy in this car. It has just a standard layout with things like your mobile phone, your DAB radio, and also your satellite navigation. There's also a very simple layout. You have this really nice petite steering wheel, and I always quite like Vauxhall steering wheels because this part here actually mirrors the front visor badge, so it's very cohesive. I also like that it feels just a tiny bit sporty as well. Some really nice buttons. So left hand side you've got your cruise control, and the right hand side you've got your volume controls, and also behind the steering wheel exactly what you'd expect: lights on the left hand side and wipers on the right hand side. It could not be easier. Oh wait, it could be easier. And they've made it even more functional with having physical climate control dials. If you go for this entry-level trim, it's just standard climate control. And if you go up to the higher spec trims, then that does become automatic climate control. But in a car of this size, I don't really think it's necessary to have that upgrade. Now, whilst that all sounds very positive for someone who's looking for a simplistic car, there are negatives to simplicity, and you can notice where they've kind of cut costs in this cabin. There are some real cheaper materials, lots and lots of plastic used, and also I really dislike these cup holders. At the moment, I've got a can in there, and when I was driving around, the can was sliding around because there's nothing to hold it into place. But to be honest, these are really small complaints, and when you're getting an affordable car, you expect to find those more affordable materials, so there's no surprises. And whilst I am highlighting some of the features that maybe the Frontera doesn't have compared to more complicated rivals, it's not short on standard equipment. In fact, I think it has everything that you want and need, but nothing that's kind of over the top that you'll never use. For instance, it has got wireless charging, even on this entry-level car, which is in front of these cup holders, and that's handy because it gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But if you don't want to use your mobile phone, it does also have satellite navigation as well, and you also get a rear view camera. Sure, it's not the most clear, but it still makes it easier to park, and this car's pretty compact, so parking is already pretty simple. But by having those rear parking sensors and also the rear view camera, it just makes things a little easier. And I think these are things that many people have become accustomed to having on a new car. Like I said, you have all the features that you would want and need, just nothing above and beyond. Right, let's talk money, because this is where things get rather interesting when it comes to the Frontera. The range kicks off with 3 different trim levels. There's a Design, a GS and an Ultimate. Both the hybrid and the electric models follow the same structure, which keeps things refreshingly simple. If you want a basic runaround which still feels well equipped, then this design trim is the one to look at. It's the version that I'm going to be driving. Prices for the hybrid start at $24,855 and the electric design $22,495 after that £1,500 government grant. So yes, the electric is actually cheaper. Move up to the GS or Ultimate and you start adding luxuries like larger alloys, upgraded seats, climate control, and in the hybrid you can even option a 7-seat layout, which by the way makes this the most compact 7-seater on sale in the UK. Powertrain wise, the hybrid comes in 2 different outputs. So there's a 110 PS version, which is fine for pottering around town. And then there's this one. It's a 145 PS version, which feels far more usable in everyday driving. Both of these use a 1.2-litre turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol engine, paired with a 21 kilowatt electric motor and a 6-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox. For the EV, there are 2 battery choices, a 44 kilowatt-hour version offering 186 miles of range and a 54 kilowatt-hour extended range, which bumps that up to around 253 miles. Now for the electric, you can rapid charge both of these from 20 to 80% in about 26 minutes, or you can plug in at home and get a full charge in roughly 5 hours on a 7 kilowatt wall box. In short, there's something for everyone here, whether you're EV curious or perhaps whether you still want just that reassurance of a hybrid engine. So then, what do we think about the styling of the Frontera? Honestly, I personally think Vauxhall have done a cracking job. They've really given this car some personality without pretending to be something it's not. It is rugged, it's upright and it's chunky, and you also have that signature Vauxhall visor front end, which ties it neatly to the rest of the Vauxhall range. This design trim that I have here keeps things super simple. So you have these black mirrors, but you also get a body-coloured roof and 16-inch steel black wheels. But I've got the optional design styling pack, and that means you get a contrasting white roof and also white steelies. And you know what? I love them. This gives the car such a cool and retro vibe. It's about 23 centimetres longer than the Mocha and it's shorter than the Grandland. So it really fits into that sweet spot of being small enough for those tight car parks. But actually, this is big enough to fit all your family and all of your stuff. I'll show you in a moment. It's not a car which is trying to look premium or flashy. It's honest, practical and a little bit cheeky. And also in this khaki green with the white trim, it really stands out amongst a sea of grey crossovers. There is only one problem, and you may have already picked up on what I just said. Khaki. I would not call this khaki. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but at first I was quite surprised at the size of the Frontera. Originally, I thought it was going to be Vauxhall's entry-level baby SUV. Maybe think of something like the Volkswagen T-Cross, but it's actually quite a lot longer than those cars, and that gives you loads more interior space. As I mentioned, it's bigger than the Mokka. The Mokka tends to be quite cramped inside, but this definitely cannot be described as cramped. Look how much legroom I've got. And they've done this clever contouring on the backs of the seats, so it gives you even more space. And I've also not moved this passenger seat forward. It's in my driving position, so that just goes to show there's ample amounts of room. Inside of here, it's a very similar story to the front. So you have things that you'd expect. You've got ISOFIX fitments on the outside seats. You've also got a little bit of storage in the doors. But it doesn't go above and beyond, so you don't have any air vents in the back here, which is a bit of a shame and may become a bit of a problem if you also have people in that third row. You also have to upgrade or go for the design pack if you want to get 2 USB-C chargers in the rear here. You have got a 12-volt charger, but I would have liked to have seen them as standard. Mind you, I think most people are going to go for a slight upgrade because of the affordable cost. There also is no central armrest, and that's a real shame. Compare this to some of its better competitors and it will lose out slightly. But it is extremely functional and extremely spacious. What about boot space? Now, I'm not going to pull the wool over anyone's eyes and say that this is a handsome design around the back. Let's face it, proportionally wise, yeah, it's not the best looking thing. But with the Frontera, it's all about functionality. It's built like this to give you a ton of boot space, and a ton of boot space is exactly what you get. So inside of here, you get 460 litres, and that's because you have this really tall boot. And Vauxhall say that's exactly how they've managed to squeeze those 2 extra seats in the third row, or to give you all of this room, because you can really utilise the high up storage. Of course, just like the rest of the car, it's relatively straightforward in here, so you don't get any fancy gadgets or gizmos. You have got an adjustable boot floor, which gives you extra storage, but by having it in this flat position, it means that you have quite a nice load area as well, so it's quite easy to get items in and out. The parcel shelf is a little bit cheap. You're not going to find any hooks or any 12-volt charging, and you also don't get an electric boot. But let's face it, if you want something which is just functional and is going to fit all of your kit for weekends away or even full weeks away, then actually I think the Frontera can do it. Okay, let's move on to everyone's favourite bit, and that's how the Frontera actually drives. Starting with the hybrid, because that's what I'm in today. So under the bonnet is a 1.2 litre turbocharged petrol engine paired with a 21 kilowatt electric motor. The system is self-charging, so you don't plug it in, and it uses a 48 volt battery to add a little boost when accelerating, or to let the car coast or crawl in electric mode at low speeds. Around town it feels smooth and relaxed. You can actually pull away silently on electric power, and up to about 18 miles per hour it can run on purely electric with the motor for short bursts, which makes city driving really quite efficient. The gearbox is a 6-speed dual clutch. It's a massive step up from the old clunky automatics that we've seen in small Vauxhalls of the past. It shifts smoothly, but if you really floor it, then you definitely still hear that little 3-cylinder working hard. It's not fast, but it's nippy enough. So 0 to 62 takes around 9 seconds, which for a small family SUV is perfectly respectable. The suspension does a good job of soaking up rough roads, and it feels stable on the motorway too, though you do notice a bit of wind noise at higher speeds. What I appreciate most is just how easy this car is to drive. It doesn't feel heavy or intimidating, and visibility is excellent. It's perfect for newer drivers or anyone upgrading from a smaller hatchback. Now, if you go for the electric version, then you'll notice straight away how quieter it feels. The motor produces 113 PS, and while performance isn't blistering, it's perfectly fine for everyday driving. The instant torque makes it feel quicker than it is around town. The steering is light and the ride comfort is decent, though it's not sporty. The EV is tuned for efficiency, not excitement, and that's exactly what I think most buyers will want. My only gripe is that on longer motorway drives, you might wish for a bit more range or a bit more cabin insulation, but considering the price, I think it's an acceptable trade-off. Overall, both versions deliver exactly what they promise: comfort, predictability, and ease of use. This isn't a car which is built to thrill, it's a car which is built to work around people's lives. So after spending some time with the new Vauxhall Frontera, here's my honest take. It's not flashy, it's not fast, but it's genuinely clever. It's roomy, it's comfortable, and it's efficient. And most importantly, it is affordable. This hybrid makes a lot of sense for families who want simplicity and range, while the electric version, well, it's one of the cheapest ways to get into a proper family EV without compromises. Yes, the interior is a little plain, and it's not the most refined thing at higher speeds, but you know what? For the money, you're getting an incredible amount of car. And I actually like that it's not pretending to be posh. It's functional, honest, and a bit charming with it. Now, if it were me, I'd probably go for the electric version, unless I needed 7 seats, because right now it's actually one of the most affordable EVs on sale, and it's great to drive around town. So there you go, the new Vauxhall Frontera, proof that affordable family cars can still feel fresh, practical, and genuinely a good value for money. Let me know, guys, would you go for the hybrid or would you go for the electric? Pop it in the comments down below and let me know all of your feelings on the car down there as well. If you have enjoyed this video, please do go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more like it, then you know what to do. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Until next time, guys, see you later.